It's been a long time since I've done anything with this channel. Did a few videos and just didn't do anything because I was being lazy, I guess. So what I want to do is I want to kind of go over where I'm at financially, kind of go from there, and I'm just going to kind of do weekly updates on or weekly or monthly updates, or whatever, periodic updates on, how I'm doing and things I've learned and things I'm doing right or wrong. So I'm going to start off with my car and my house that I live in. I'm about, with debts, which is secured debt as they call it, I'm about $50,000 in debt. I owe like 24,000 on my car and like 26,000 on my house, which isn't bad compared to most people. Um, and then I want to get rid of, really I want to get rid of my car. I kind of want to get rid of my house loan because that means it makes me able to sell and move. And then because I actually in a trailer house. And then two, I'm going to get my car paid off because that means my car's paid off. That's actually my biggest bill. My car payment is actually higher than my house payment, but I also have to pay a lot rent here, so they're very close to the same. And then about unsecured debt, credit cards, which I kind of got into silly reasons, and then some other stuff. It's about 10,000. I'm only like 60,000, 60 maybe 65,000 in debt total, which isn't bad compared to a lot of people. But it's kind of where I'm at. So that's it. So kind of go over some things that after studying all this stuff and not really implementing a lot of things and plus some really just bad luck things happening to me in the last month. Literally going down the highway and a small propane tank, like the small one they use for a gas grill, had fallen off someone's car. And then later on that night, the semi came by as I was passing it. And the semi didn't do anything wrong. Kicked a propane tank, started bouncing into my car. It does about $3,000-4,000 of damage. Thank God for auto insurance, which covered that. And I couldn't swerve because this car coming away. It was 2-lane and it was on a bridge, and so it started bouncing. If there wouldn't have been a bridge there or doing a car coming, I could have swerved to miss it, or it would have just gone out into a field. But yeah, so that, because I didn't bring up have a emergency fund like some financial people recommend, which is a good idea. I kind of had to bite the bullet and kind of did that. Like I'd start building one, this would happen. That's what it's for. The other things. So that's what happened. So literally try to get an emergency fund. My goal is to get a $2,000 emergency fund. I know that Dave Ramsey says $1,000, but I also know how much. I live in Texas, so if my AC in my car goes out, it's about $1,500 to $2,000 to replace the AC. Unless I'm fortunate enough to have one of my nephews at home and he can do it for a lot cheaper because the labor is going to kill you. Just to get a new AC compressor for a car is about $800 to $1,000. $600 if you're lucky to find like one that's off of a wrecked car that still works. But that's what happened. And then did something else silly. I was working on brakes and didn't best the caliper up, so I had to get a new one of those. And luckily, instead of paying $500 for a new one, because it's a Nissan, new 2021 Nissan, instead I found one for $50 at a used car, at a place where they pretty much take wrecked cars and they part them out to you. So that was kind of cool. So kind of important tip, if you have a newer car and the parts are ridiculous, see if you can find one at a junkyard or a place that they can actually send it to you, because you're going to find one that's refurbished, because you're going to save a lot of money just kind of doing that. But kind of going to what my plan is to do is over the next, I have certain things that are going to be dropping off by the end of the year. So I have a couple of things that are dropping off. One, there's a company called Sunbit that I've had to use before to get, to pay for auto stuff, and you can do from like 1 month to like 3 months. If you pay it off in a month, you don't have to pay any interest. Stuff like that. And that's about it. And then there's some other stuff, like I have one that's like $18 a month that's dropping off by, I think, like August or September. I might get that one paid off quickly just to get it out of there. That's one less thing to worry about. Some of my other stuff I'm paying off. I had to buy a new computer, so I had to go through a firm to get one, because at times I do work from home if I'm not driving Uber or Lyft. And I work in the IT field. When I work from home, I need a computer. My computer pretty much died. Um, Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. So people like should you avoid getting loans if you can? Yes, but sometimes life hits you at the worst possible time. So let's get real. This is reality. Credit cards. Credit cards are double-edged swords. They're not these horrible things that Dave Ramsey makes them out to be, but they can be if you're irresponsible, like people tend to be. If you're very responsible and you keep them paid down, you pay them down every month, or maybe every 2-3 months, depending on this case something major happens, then they can actually be a benefit. I have talked to people who've used, who've used them for business, like they would get points for their business travel. And the points really aren't useful for if you're going for like Christmas, Thanksgiving, like during the really major travel days. But they're great for business people for when they're traveling a lot. Like this guy traveled a lot between Austin and LA. And because of that, he was he every once in a while he would get the points because he had to travel anyway to get the points, and the points would save him like $500 every 6 months to every like once a quarter, maybe once to how many miles, or every so often I just got myself a free round trip ticket from LA to Austin. Great. For stuff like that, it's fine. Now, for people going around and buying points and stuff, that's it's ridiculous. If you're using a credit card and it gives you points and you travel off it, they're fine. Cashback rewards like Discover does, you pay off at the end of the month, that's good. There are good things about credit cards, but if you're not responsible or if they just end up being a disaster for you, then you should avoid them. That's something you need to make sure for yourself. Dave Ramsey isn't always wrong, but he's not always right. Not right because he's got a lot more money than me, and so but a lot of times I've heard stuff on this show that they are right on money-wise, but if you listen to everything, they don't know really certain things when it comes to certain industries. Like I heard him tell a guy, oh no, just learn to weld from the guys that work for you, which is true. But if you go to welding school, you're going to learn the right techniques, you're going to learn the science behind it, and you're going to learn more than just welding. You're going to learn cutting, you're going to learn like, hey, here's how you braze, here's how you weld. You're also going to meet new people, and you're going to have a better understanding of what you're doing and why it works the way it does. And so that I remember them doing that, and that's just kind of a minor nitpick. But overall, like I said, these aren't going to be very long videos most of the time. Every once in a while, if I find something financial, I'll go and read the article and see if it's kind of good or not. But I also need to start saving. Luckily, I get a pension from the military, and then social insecurity, as I like to call it, is going to be coming around the corner one of these days. So I need to start saving up. But that's about it. I'll just kind of go from there. I'm not not no bun special. I just want to kind of take people on my journey, see what I've learned, and like what I say today may be completely what I say from a year from now. But that's because I want to learn. If I learn information that changes the way I do things, it's great. I've kind of heard someone, she's called the Budgetnista, and she says something about weird thing about credit cards is if you have like a $250 or $300 credit card, like a little one, like you can pay your electric bill on the credit card, then you pay it off, then you pay electric bills, you can pay it off. And what you do is you're setting yourself up as you're getting aids every day, and then it helps build your credit score. I don't know how accurate that is, but it's something I'm going to try and see how it works. Unless things go a little bit, hopefully things don't go bad, but my goal is to, by the end of the year, actually have at least $1,000 to $2,000 nest egg. But I got some things I have to get out of the way first. Like I'm got a couple things I'm behind on. I got to get caught up on by the end of the month, so that's going to be my priority. So, and probably next week or end of the month or something, I have an update. So out there, and good luck with all of you, and hope everything turns out good for everybody. Later.